Ladies, let's pause for a moment. Most women don't overlook red flags. They overlook intention. You can sense when a man is interested. You can recognize attraction. You can notice chemistry. But seriousness carries a different energy. Here's the truth that often goes unspoken. When a man is serious about you, his behavior becomes organized. Not louder, not more intense. Organized. Men tend to approach commitment with strategy. When he's simply enjoying the moment, he goes with the flow. When he's serious, he becomes deliberate. If you observe carefully, you'll notice a subtle change. He begins to plan, not just enjoyable dates or pleasant weekends. He starts considering real-life adjustments. And planning involves a sacrifice. That's why this is important. A man may flirt casually with many women, but he will only rearrange his life for one. Take a moment to reflect on that, the psychological shift. Before we move into 5 specific points, it's important to understand what changes internally. When a man decides you truly matter to him, 3 mental shifts take place. He moves from trying to impress to trying to build. He moves from reacting in the moment to preparing ahead. He shifts from short-term thinking to long-term thinking. This distinction is significant because attraction is emotional, while commitment is strategic. A man may still joke, still flirt, still say you're my girl in a playful way, but beneath that, his mind is processing long-term possibilities. He starts asking himself, can I maintain this? Does she fit into my real life? Is this aligned with where I'm headed? He may not express it directly, but he is assessing the situation carefully. Here's a key point. When a man isn't serious, he avoids thinking about the future. When he is serious, he naturally begins thinking ahead. That's one clear indicator. You'll also notice a change in how he manages his time. Let's move beyond the obvious statement that he makes time. That's surface level. When a man is serious, he restructures his schedule. There's a difference. A casual man says, let me check if I'm free. A serious man ensures that he is free. That shift is important. He doesn't simply fit you into open spaces. He intentionally protects time for you. And protecting time signals that you are a priority. You'll notice he confirms plans early, avoids double booking, and doesn't vanish on weekends. He communicates changes ahead of time because uncertainty creates instability. A man aiming for something long-term actively reduces instability. That's maturity in action. When he says, let's hang out sometime, he's locking in Friday. He's already cleared his schedule. That's intentional energy. If he reschedules something important to keep a commitment with you, that's true investment. Men rarely sacrifice prime time for temporary relationships because time is power to them. How he spends it reveals what he values. Sign 2. He starts considering lifestyle compatibility. This is deeper. A serious man doesn't just ask, what are you doing tonight? He asks, what kind of life do you want? Sometimes it's casual. Would you ever move? Do you prefer big cities or quiet towns? Are you career-focused or family-focused? Don't mistake this for small talk. It's alignment testing. Attraction alone isn't enough. Compatibility matters. When he's serious, he wants your lives to integrate smoothly. He's imagining your routines, habits, ambitions, and temperament. He asks himself, can our daily lives blend without conflict? That's long-term thinking. A man who isn't serious avoids these conversations because future planning creates emotional responsibility. And if he doesn't intend to stay, he won't open that door. But if he's bringing these topics up, he's already envisioning you in his life. This is the difference between fantasy and planning. Let's clarify something important. Many men fantasize about you, but very few actually plan around you. Fantasy sounds like, we should go to Italy one day. Planning sounds like, I'm saving for a trip next summer. Let's start looking at flights. Feel that difference? One is driven by dopamine, the other by direction. When he moves from dreaming to organizing, that signals seriousness. Planning also requires something challenging for men, emotional risk. By planning with you, he assumes you'll still be there. That's vulnerability. Men don't expose vulnerability for casual fun. They do it for someone they see as long-term. Pause here. Ask yourself, has he shifted from spontaneous to structured? From flirting to forecasting? From maybe to let's figure this out? If he has, You're no longer just a vibe, you're a vision, and visions are treated differently. We're just getting started. In the next part, we'll explore how a serious man plans financial security, how his approach to money shifts when commitment enters, and the subtle masculine pressure that emerges when he sees you long-term. This next layer is where boys separate from men. Say continue, and we'll go deeper. Now we dive in. This is where things stop being cute and start being real. Take a breath. This shift isn't romantic, it's strategic. When a man is serious, something activates inside him that most women rarely see directly. Pressure, not toxic, not panic, but purposeful pressure. It's the moment he subconsciously thinks, if this is going somewhere, I need to level up. This brings us to the third major sign. He starts planning financial stability. Listen closely. This isn't about him spending money on you. A casual guy may spend freely on dates, but this is different. A serious man builds systems. That's a key difference. When he's not serious, money is just for entertainment. When he is serious, money becomes a tool for preparation. You'll notice subtle shifts. He talks about investments, mentions saving more, and becomes more disciplined. He starts thinking about long-term income and may say things like, I need to be smarter with my money. I'm trying to build something solid. I don't want to be broke in 5 years. You might think, oh, he's just focused on himself. Not true. If this change happens while your connection is deepening, you are part of the picture. Men link commitment with capability. A man who sees a relationship as temporary doesn't feel pressure to improve his life. Why would he? But when he sees it as long-term, he asks himself, can I provide stability? Can I protect this? Am I ready for real responsibility? Even modern American men who say, we're 50-50, still feel that internal drive. When he's serious, he doesn't just want love. He wants assurance that he can handle life with you. That's masculine pride at its healthiest. Here's something many women miss. If he starts working harder, thinking smarter, cutting distractions, avoiding reckless spending, while also investing more time in you, that's not random growth. That's preparation energy. He's not just chasing money. He's building a foundation. And men don't build foundations for temporary relationships. That's why those subtle financial behaviors matter. You'll also notice this shift. He may start asking questions like, what are your long-term goals? How do you handle money? Are you a saver or a spender? This is an interrogation. It's risk assessment. Long-term relationships break down more over money than almost anything else. A serious man wants to know if you're aligned. He's not judging. He's evaluating sustainability. That's maturity. A casual man avoids these topics. They feel too heavy. A serious man leans in because he's projecting the future. Sign number 4. He begins planning your integration into his world. This is a powerful shift. When a man is casual, you exist in a separate bubble. When he's serious, he merges worlds. You'll hear phrases like, I want you to meet my people. My mom would like you. You get along with my friends. Don't take this lightly. Men protect their inner circle, family, close friends, mentors. That's sacred territory. Introducing you, there isn't experimentation. It's positioning. By including you, he's proud of you and sees you as a reflection of his choices. Men don't risk embarrassment or emotional complications for temporary relationships. They simply won't. You may also notice he invites you to important events, includes you in real conversations, and stops hiding his daily life. That's integration, and integration equals intention. Separating lives is easy. Blending them requires courage. It signals, I see you staying. Here's something deeper. When he socially integrates you, he's also testing long-term comfort. He observes how you interact, handle pressure, and fit into his tribe, not to criticize, but to assess compatibility. If he's serious, he's thinking, can this last? That's future-focused thinking, the emotional shift behind integration. There's also an emotional layer to this. When a man introduces you to his world, he's exposing himself, his background, upbringing, and real environment. That's vulnerability. Men don't open these doors casually. If he keeps you hidden, keeps things surface level, and keeps your world separate, he's preserving flexibility. But when he blends lives, he's reducing exit options. And people only do that when they're serious. Pause for a moment. Has he become more financially focused? Started talking about stability? Integrated you into his real world? If the answer is yes, you're no longer in a situationship. You're transitioning into something structured. But we're not done. The final shift is where commitment becomes undeniable. Next, we'll explore how he plans emotional security, the language that signals lifelong thinking, the ultimate statement that separates I like you from I choose you. And that distinction hits differently. Now we move into an area most people don't discuss. Planning time, money, and integration is external structure. When a man is truly serious, he starts planning something internal. And that's where it gets powerful. Slow down here, because this shift separates infatuation from commitment. When a man is serious, he plans emotional stability, not just good times or enjoyable moments, but steady support. This is where boys quietly disappear and men quietly step up. Sign number 5, he starts planning emotional security. A casual man enjoys your happy moods. A serious man prepares for the hard ones. Let that sink in. When he's serious, he doesn't just ask, "How was your day?" He asks, "Are you okay? What's on your mind lately? Talk to me." That's not casual curiosity. That's investment. He's observing your emotional patterns. What stresses you? What triggers you? What comforts you? Why? Because if he sees long-term potential, he wants emotional predictability. He wants to understand. How do we handle conflict? How do we repair tension? Can we disagree without breaking? Here's where tone shifts subtly in American slang. Instead of brushing things off with everything's fine, he says, "We good? I don't like when we're off. Let's fix this." That phrase, "let's fix this," signals serious man energy. Casual men avoid emotional work. They ghost, detach, or minimize. A serious man addresses issues, not perfectly, not flawlessly, but intentionally. He begins planning conflict resolution. It's subtle yet crucial. When disagreements arise, does he dismiss them or does he say, "Talk to me"? A serious man doesn't protect ego. He protects connection. You'll hear statements like, "I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sorry. I want us to be good." Apologizing isn't easy for many men. Pride is real. So if he sets aside ego to restore peace, that's emotional priority. He's planning for sustainability, because long-term love isn't about avoiding problems. It's about repairing them. If he chooses repair over retreat, he's not casual. He's committed-minded. Now comes a shift into us thinking. You'll notice a subtle but consistent change in his language. He stops saying "I" so often and starts using "we," not in a clingy or rush way, but naturally. We'll figure out. We can handle that. We'll make it work. That's partnership language, and language reveals internal decisions. By including you in problem solving, he's mentally placing you on his long-term team. Men don't build teams with temporary players. They build teams with core members. If he starts consulting you before decisions, asking, "What do you think?" that's respect. And respect fuels seriousness. He doesn't just want you around. He values your influence. Now we arrive at the sentence that changes everything. When a man says, "I trust you," not casually, not playfully, but sincerely, that's profound. Trust means he feels safe. He's no longer guarding himself, no longer half in, no longer testing exits. Defense mode is what men stay in when they're unsure. Dropping his guard with you signals something different. He shares things he hasn't told anyone else, saying, "I've never told anyone this before." That's vulnerability, and vulnerability is planning. It shows he sees you as a long-term safe space. Men do not expose their unfiltered selves to women they plan to leave. It's too risky, too intimate, too real. There's one more phrase that signals seriousness at its deepest level. It may sound simple, but it carries weight. "I want to build something with you." Not, "Let's see where this goes." Not, "We'll figure out eventually." Build. That word implies effort, time, structure, and longevity. When a man uses building language, he's no longer dating for fun. He's dating for foundation. And foundation thinking only happens when he envisions future security. Pause here. Ask yourself honestly, has he tried to repair conflicts instead of avoiding them? Started naturally using "we"? Opened up emotionally? Expressed trust? Talked about building something together? If yes, you're not in a temporary chapter. You're in a long-term draft. But there's one final layer, the deepest shift from seriousness to a lifelong commitment mindset. In the final part, we explore the phrase that signals permanence, how men act when they've fully chosen you, and the emotional transformation that happens when he knows you're the one. That's where certainty lives. This is a stage where everything clicks, not the cute moments, not the we're vibing phase, not even the we're getting serious phase. This is when a man has made an internal decision. Once a man makes that decision, his energy changes permanently. There's a massive difference between a man who is serious about you and a man who has chosen you. Serious means, I see potential. Chosen means, I'm building here. When he crosses that line mentally, you'll feel it. He stops evaluating and starts committing. In the beginning, even serious men evaluate. Is this aligned? Is this healthy? Is this sustainable? But choosing moves him from evaluation to decision, and that shift changes everything. But once he decides, the evaluation phase fades and planning becomes permanent. You'll hear statements like, I can't imagine my life without you. Listen carefully. Men don't say this lightly. Imagining life without you means he's mentally tested that scenario and rejected it. That's choice, and choice is powerful. Love isn't just emotion. It's selection. When he chooses you, he stops scanning for alternatives, stops comparing, and drops any backup plans. His energy stabilizes. He's no longer hot and cold. He's steady. That's grown man energy. He begins planning legacy, not just lifestyle. Here's where it deepens. A man who has chosen you starts thinking beyond comfort. He thinks legacy. He may ask, what do you think our life will look like? Where do you see us in 10 years? I want us to grow together. Notice the timeline shift. 10 years growth, future building. That's not casual dating talk. That's lifetime planning. Men don't connect legacy to women they're unsure about. Legacy implies permanence, and permanence requires certainty. If he's speaking in decades instead of weekends, he's not playing, he's planting. When he says, we'll handle it, that's subtle but powerful. Life gets messy. Stress, family issues, financial pressure, health challenges. A casual man says, that's your problem. A serious man says, we'll handle it. That's partnership language. Protector energy, not controlling, but committed. He sees your struggles as shared responsibility, not obligation. That's the difference. When a man chooses you, your battles become his battles. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. The deepest sign? Consistency without performance. Here's the truth many women miss. When a man is serious, he doesn't perform love. He lives it. Early on, men may perform impress or chase dopamine. But when he's chosen you, he relaxes into stability. He doesn't disappear. He doesn't love bomb. He doesn't create chaos. He's simply consistent, calm, and steady. Steady love may feel less dramatic, but it's far more powerful. Drama is addictive. Stability is secure, and secure love lasts. The ultimate sentence carries the most weight of all. It's not flashy, not poetic, just simple, I'm not going anywhere. When a man says this and his actions back it up, he's done searching. He's done wandering, done testing, done entertaining uncertainty. He's anchored. Final shift when he mentally chooses you. When a man anchors emotionally, it's intentional. Men don't anchor lightly. If he says, you're my person, I'm here, we're building, and consistently shows up, you're not part of a temporary story. You're the chosen one. Here's a reality check. Words matter, but behavior confirms. If he plans time consistently, talks long-term, lows up financially, integrates you into his world, repairs conflicts, naturally uses we, speaks in years, not months, and shows steady presence. He's not casually dating. He's planning life with you. And when a man plans life with you, he protects that plan. Take a breath. Think about him. Not what you hope, not what you imagine, but what he actually does. Seriousness isn't hidden. It shows in structure, in language, in consistency, and most importantly, in peace. When a man is serious about you, you don't feel anxious, you feel secure. You don't feel confused, you feel chosen. Final thoughts. The difference between liking and building. Love isn't proven by big speeches. It's proven by planning. It's proven by consistency. It's proven by the quiet decisions he makes when you're not even watching. If you see these signs in your life, type "He chose me" in the comments. And if not, that's okay, because now you know the difference between a man who likes you and a man who's building with you. Once you know that difference, you'll never settle for less again.